Today, we remember the world of television, a place where unforgettable women brought stories to life and became part of our homes. Through drama, laughter, and emotion, these actresses filled our screens with warmth and truth. Some graced TV for decades, others left too soon, but each left behind moments that still touch our hearts. This video honors their lives, their talent, and the lasting light they left on television forever. Betty White, the beloved American television actress and comedian who became a symbol of laughter and grace, passed away on December 31, 2021, at the age of 99, after suffering a stroke just 6 days earlier. The world was ready to celebrate her 100th birthday, but instead, it faced the heartbreaking loss of a woman who had spent nearly 8 decades lighting up television screens. She passed peacefully in her home in Brentwood, Los Angeles, surrounded by her favorite photographs, memories, and the quiet comfort of a life well lived. Those close to her said she was alert and full of spirit until her final days. Still joking, still smiling, still grateful for everything. Born in Oak Park, Illinois on January 17, 1922, Betty began her career in radio and made her way to television when it was still a new frontier. In the 1950s, she broke barriers by producing and starring in Life with Elizabeth, making her one of the first women in Hollywood to produce her own sitcom. But her fame soared in the 1970s when she played Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show, a sweet but sharp-tongued homemaker whose every scene was pure brilliance. The role earned her multiple Emmy Awards and cemented her as one of television's funniest and most versatile actresses. Her biggest and most beloved role came as Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls. With her innocent heart, warm smile, and hilarious St. Olaf stories, she made millions laugh and feel at home. The show became one of TV's greatest comedies, and Rose became an unforgettable part of pop culture. Even in her later years, Betty kept working, hosting Saturday Night Live at 88, starring in Hot in Cleveland, and appearing on countless talk shows where her wit never faded. Off-screen, she was deeply devoted to animals, spending decades supporting rescue shelters and wildlife causes. Mary Tyler Moore, the beloved American television actress and producer who brought grace, laughter, and independence to millions of homes, passed away on January 25, 2017, at the age of 80, after suffering cardiopulmonary arrest brought on by pneumonia. Her final days were spent in Greenwich Hospital in Connecticut, surrounded by her husband and close friends. Years of living with type 1 diabetes had weakened her body, and the infection proved too much for her fragile heart and lungs to bear. Despite her struggle, she faced those last moments with quiet dignity, the same strength that had defined her both on and off the screen. Born on December 29, 1936, in Brooklyn, New York, Mary grew up in a close but troubled family that later moved to Los Angeles when she was just 8 years old. It was there that she discovered her love for performing. Her career began in commercials before she found her first big break as the charming and stylish Laura Petrie on The Dick Van Dyke Show in the early 1960s. With her quick wit, expressive eyes, and effortless comedic timing, she became one of America's most loved TV wives. But it was the 1970s when she truly changed television forever with The Mary Tyler Moore Show. As Mary Richards, a single, career-driven woman working as a television producer, she gave millions of women confidence to dream beyond traditional expectations. The show was groundbreaking, funny, and deeply human, earning her several Emmy Awards and a place in television history. Beyond those defining roles, Mary also shined in dramatic work, earning an Oscar nomination for Ordinary People in 1980. Off-screen, her life was marked by both triumph and tragedy, including the heartbreaking loss of her only son, Richard, and her lifelong battle with diabetes. Still, she never stopped inspiring others, using her platform to advocate for animal welfare and diabetes research. Olivia Newton-John, the beloved British-Australian television and film actress who became a global icon of charm, music, and heartfelt emotion, passed away on August 8, 2022, at the age of 73, at her home in the serene Santa Ynez Valley of California. She died after a long and painful battle with breast cancer that had returned multiple times over 3 decades. First diagnosed in 1992, Olivia bravely underwent surgery and chemotherapy, entering remission before the illness struck again in 2013 and once more in 2017, spreading to her bones. Even in her final years, when her body was frail, she faced each day with courage and gratitude, her radiant smile never fading. Those who knew her said she carried an unshakable grace, the same warmth and spirit that had touched millions through her television and film career. Born on September 26, 1948, in Cambridge, England, and raised in Melbourne, Australia, Olivia discovered her love for performing early in life. By her teenage years, she was appearing on Australian television shows such as The Go Show, where her beauty, sincerity, and gentle voice made her a household name. Her growing fame led to international success through television performances and musical specials during the 1970s, where she became one of the most beloved faces on screen. Her presence was always comforting, soft-spoken, genuine, and full of heart, qualities that made audiences feel connected to her far beyond her songs. Her most iconic role came in 1978 when she starred as Sandy in Grease. The film became a global phenomenon, and her chemistry with John Travolta made their duet, "You're the One That I Want," one of the best-selling songs in history. That role defined a generation and turned her into a cultural icon. Yet, Olivia never distanced herself from television, continuing to appear in concerts, interviews, and special programs that showcased her warmth and versatility. Behind the fame, she lived a deeply human story, filled with triumphs, heartbreak, and endless resilience. She faced the mysterious disappearance of her boyfriend, Patrick M.C. Dermott, in 2005, an event that haunted her for years. Carrie Fisher, the beloved American television and film actress who became a symbol of strength, humor, and honesty, passed away on December 27, 2016, at the age of 60 after suffering a massive cardiac arrest during a flight from London to Los Angeles. The world was stunned as she was rushed to a hospital upon landing, placed on life support, and fought for several days before her heart finally gave out. The autopsy later revealed that she had sleep apnea and heart disease, along with traces of substances in her system, painful reminders of her long, open struggle with addiction and bipolar disorder. Her death broke millions of hearts, and what made the tragedy even deeper was the passing of her mother, actress Debbie Reynolds, just one day later, reportedly saying, "I want to be with Carrie." Born on October 21, 1956, in Burbank, California, Carrie was born into fame as the daughter of Hollywood icons Eddie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds. Yet she carved her own path, first appearing on television in her mother's musical specials before taking the world by storm in 1977 as Princess Leia in Star Wars. Though known as a film legend, Carrie's presence on television was equally powerful through interviews, late-night appearances, and specials where her wit and honesty made her a beloved guest. She also appeared in TV productions like The Big Bang Theory, 30 Rock, and Family Guy, often playing versions of herself, sharp, self-aware, and irresistibly funny. Carrie's true brilliance, however, shone beyond her screen roles. She was a gifted writer and mental health advocate who turned her pain into purpose. Her semi-autobiographical novel Postcards from the Edge became both a bestseller and a film, and her one-woman TV special Wishful Drinking revealed the humor and heartbreak of her life with stunning honesty. She spoke openly about bipolar disorder, breaking taboos and encouraging countless others to seek help. Debbie Reynolds, the beloved American television and film actress who brought laughter, grace, and heart to every screen she appeared on, passed away on December 28, 2016, at the age of 84, after suffering a massive stroke. Her death came just one day after the passing of her daughter, actress Carrie Fisher, a tragedy that broke her spirit. It was said that moments before collapsing, Debbie whispered, "I want to be with Carrie." Though the official cause was a stroke, those closest to her believed she died of heartbreak. She was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, but never regained consciousness. The pain of losing her daughter, after decades of a close and loving bond, was simply too much for her fragile heart. Born Mary Frances Reynolds on April 1, 1932 in El Paso, Texas, she grew up in a working-class family that struggled through the Great Depression. Her father worked for the railroad, while her mother took in laundry to support the family. From a young age, Debbie showed a natural gift for performing, full of energy, wit, and optimism. At 16, she won the Miss Burbank Beauty Contest, which changed her life forever. Warner Bros. Soon signed her, and the shy Texas girl became one of Hollywood's brightest young stars. While many remember her as a movie legend, her impact on television was just as powerful. In the late 1960s, she headlined The Debbie Reynolds Show, where she played a witty housewife balancing humor and heart. Her charm and comedic timing made the show a success, earning her a Golden Globe nomination. Over the years, she became a familiar and loved face on television, appearing in The Love Boat, Wings, and The Golden Girls. But it was her recurring role on Will and Grace as Grace Adler's vibrant, over-the-top mother, Bobby Adler, that introduced her to a new generation. Her performances were full of warmth, sass, and that unmistakable sparkle that made audiences fall in love with her all over again. Beyond the screen, Debbie's life was filled with triumph and struggle. Her marriage to singer Eddie Fisher ended publicly when he left her for Elizabeth Taylor, yet she faced humiliation with humor and dignity, focusing on raising her children, Carrie and Todd Fisher. She continued to perform on stage, starred in Las Vegas residencies, and built one of the world's largest collections of Hollywood memorabilia. Diana Rigg, the beloved English television actress who became a timeless symbol of strength, wit, and elegance, passed away on September 10, 2020, at the age of 82, after a brave and painful battle with lung cancer. Her daughter, Rachel Sterling, revealed that she was diagnosed just months before her death, and in her final days, she remained at home in London, surrounded by family and comfort. Despite her illness, Diana stayed resilient and calm, often using humor to ease the pain. Those closest to her said she faced her final moments with grace, the same fierce spirit that had defined her life on screen. Born on July 20, 1938, in Doncaster, Yorkshire, Diana spent much of her childhood in India, where her father worked as a railway engineer. She spoke Hindi before English and often said that living between two cultures made her independent from a young age. After returning to England, she attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art and quickly found her place in theatre, joining the Royal Shakespeare Company in the early 1960s. But her real breakthrough came on television when she starred as the fearless and witty Emma Peel in The Avengers. The role turned her into an international icon, a brilliant, stylish secret agent whose intelligence and humor made her one of TV's most unforgettable heroines. As years went on, Diana continued to shine in both television and film. She became James Bond's wife in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and decades later, she captured a new generation of viewers as Olenna Tyrell in Game of Thrones. Her sharp-tongued, commanding performance as the Queen of Thorns became one of the series' most loved roles, proving that her talent never faded with time. Throughout her life, Diana Rigg was celebrated not only for her acting but for her courage to speak out, demanding equal pay during The Avengers and standing tall in an industry that often undervalued women. She won Emmy, Tony, and BAFTA awards, but beyond all honors, it was her charm, humor, and strength that defined her. Even after heart surgery in 2017, she continued to work, appearing in All Creatures Great and Small and Last Night in Soho shortly before her passing. Cloris Leachman, the beloved American television actress who became one of the most versatile and celebrated performers in Hollywood history. passed away on January 27, 2021, at the age of 94, at her home in Encinitas, California. The cause of her death was a stroke, with COVID-19 listed as a contributing factor. Her daughter, Dinah, said Cloris passed peacefully in her sleep, surrounded by family and love, leaving behind a career that defined multiple generations of television. Born on April 30, 1926, in Des Moines, Iowa, Cloris was the eldest of three sisters and grew up with a strong sense of humor and confidence that would later become her trademark. She began performing in local plays and quickly developed a love for the stage. After winning a scholarship to Northwestern University, she studied drama alongside future stars like Paul Lynde and Charlotte Rae. Determined to make it big, she moved to New York City and trained at the legendary actor studio under Elia Kazan, where her raw talent stood out instantly. Her early years were spent performing in live television and Broadway, but her real rise came in the 1950s when she appeared in Lassie, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and The Twilight Zone. Cloris soon became one of the most recognizable faces on American television. Her greatest breakthrough came with her role as Phyllis Lindstrom on The Mary Tyler Moore Show, where her mix of charm, insecurity, and comedic brilliance made her character unforgettable. She won 2 Emmys for that role and later starred in her own spin-off series, Phyllis, which brought her even more acclaim. But Cloris wasn't just a comedic genius. She proved her dramatic power with her Oscar-winning performance in The Last Picture Show 1971, showing the world a completely different side of her artistry. Throughout the years, she appeared in hit shows like Malcolm in the Middle, The Facts of Life, Raising Hope, and countless TV movies, collecting a total of 8 Primetime Emmy Awards, one of the highest in television history. Even in her later years, Cloris remained unstoppable. At 82, she joined Dancing with the Stars, becoming the oldest contestant ever, and turned it into yet another moment of pure entertainment and joy. Jessica Walter, the beloved American television actress who became a symbol of wit, class, and timeless talent, passed away on March 24, 2021, at the age of 80 in her Manhattan home. She died peacefully in her sleep after a brief period of declining health. Her daughter, Brooke, was by her side, and those close to her said Jessica faced her final days with the same grace and humor that defined her life. Her passing came just 2 years after losing her husband, actor Ron Liebman, and many believe that heartbreak quietly weighed on her in those last years. Born on January 31, 1941, in Brooklyn, New York, Jessica grew up surrounded by art and music. Her father was a professional musician, and her mother encouraged her to chase her dreams. She studied acting at the High School of Performing Arts and later trained under Sanford Meisner at the Neighborhood Playhouse, where her confidence and presence stood out early. Her career began in the 1960s with television dramas like Naked City and The Defenders, but her breakthrough came with Clint Eastwood's play Misty for Me in 1971, a gripping performance that earned her a Golden Globe nomination. Yet it was on television where she truly became unforgettable. As Lucille Bluth in Arrested Development, Jessica created one of TV's most iconic characters, sharp, sarcastic, and endlessly funny. Her timing, expression, and charm made her a comedy legend. She later brought that same brilliance to voice acting as Mallory Archer in Archer, giving her voice the same commanding energy fans loved seeing on screen. Through 6 decades of television, from Trapper John, MD to Law and Order, SVU and NCIS, Jessica proved she could do it all: drama, comedy, and everything in between. Behind the fame, she was kind, devoted to her family, and deeply proud of her work. Barbara Windsor, the beloved English television actress who captured hearts with her warmth, humor, and unforgettable voice, passed away on December 10, 2020, at the age of 83. After a long and painful battle with Alzheimer's disease. Her final years were filled with both heartbreak and love. As the illness slowly took away her memories, she was cared for tenderly by her husband, Scott Mitchell, who stayed by her side until the end. She spent her last days in a care home in London, surrounded by compassion and familiar voices that reminded her of the life she once lived so brightly. Born Barbara Ann Deeks on August 6, 1937, in Shoreditch, East London, she grew up in a working-class family during World War II. From a young age, she had a spark that stood out, confident, witty, and full of life. After her parents separated, she found escape in performing, eventually attending the Ida Foster Theatre School, where her natural comedic timing and charm began to shine. Barbara's television career started in the 1950s, and she quickly became one of Britain's most recognizable faces. Her big breakthrough came with the Carry On film series, where she became the face of cheeky British humor, adored for her laughter and playful energy. But it was her role as Peggy Mitchell in the iconic BBC soap EastEnders that made her a true television legend. As the fierce yet loving landlady of the Queen Vic pub, Barbara brought Peggy to life with a mix of toughness and tenderness that viewers instantly connected to. Her line, "Get out of my pub," became one of the most famous catchphrases in British TV history. June Brown, the beloved English television actress who became a household name through her unforgettable role as Dot Cotton in EastEnders, passed away peacefully on April 3, 2022, at the age of 95. Her death occurred at her home in Surrey, surrounded by her family and loved ones. In her later years, she battled severe eyesight problems caused by macular degeneration, which left her nearly blind and made daily life difficult. Yet, even as her health declined, she remained strong, sharp, and full of her signature wit. Friends and family said she faced her final days with the same grace and dignity that defined her life, spending quiet moments at home, the same home filled with memories from a lifetime of laughter, scripts, and television history. Born on February 16, 1927, in Needham Market, Suffolk, June Muriel Brown grew up during the hardships of World War II. After serving in the Women's Royal Naval Service, she trained at the Old Vic Theatre School, where her love for acting truly began. Her early life was marked by both resilience and tragedy. She lost her sister at a young age and later endured heartbreak when her first husband, actor John Garley, died by suicide. But June found solace in her work. She appeared in many beloved British television shows including Coronation Street, Doctor Who, Minder, and The Duchess of Duke Street, building a reputation as one of the most respected character actresses in the country. Her most iconic role came in 1985, when she joined EastEnders as Dot Cotton, a chain-smoking, sharp-tongued yet deeply kind-hearted woman whose faith and humanity resonated deeply with viewers. Over the next 35 years, June appeared in nearly 2,900 episodes, becoming one of television's longest-running and most loved stars. Her emotional solo episode, where Dot recorded a message to her paralyzed husband Jim, is still remembered as one of the most powerful performances in British TV history.